Hello, everyone. Crazy times with the market. In all honesty, I have never ever seen what we are actually seeing right now in the stock market. Let's go ahead and get to the NASDAQ. Let's get rid of some of these things really quick. Delete that, and delete this. And I want to show you our oscillators are now confirming the action in the indexes. We've retaken the 50-day moving average on very strong volume, which was a confirmation of the above average volume move the day before. Held the recent support, which is not shown here with the 100-day moving average. So overall, we're looking okay, but bottom line is we're still in this kind of trending channel right here. And until we break out of it, I think it's foolish to join the bull or bear camp. However, the good news is, look at the technical indicators. MACD has curled up, trending nicely above the moving average, and so is TSV. So for now, we are on the side of the bulls, which means if I get long signals, I'm going to take them despite this being one of the worst starts of the year compared to the market I have ever had. And I tell you what, I got to admit, guys, I'm off my game. Since 2008, nothing's been the same. My beautiful charts aren't around when the 2009 rally started because my hot, beautiful green charts that always showed up in every rally attempt. There was always a few stocks that are hot out there. Like even recently, EDAP showed up and would be considered a beautiful stock. Buy stops would have been set just above this level, 320. As you can see, the first day it worked. But look at today. It's already lost its max green. So the bottom line is these charts aren't working anymore. And you know what? I'm about ready just to give up ever thinking they're ever going to come back because they haven't. They showed up a few times in 2011, a few times in 2012, 2013. They didn't show up at all in 2014, despite it being a great year for me, thanks to me taking all the other signals. That being said, false signals here, false signals there, sell stops hit, stocks reversing here and reversing there, and next thing you know, the market's down about 0.40% for the year according to the S&P 500, but my portfolio didn't do diddly squat today thanks to the hedges and then the biotech stocks that I'm long that went down compared to the stocks that I own that went up, and I'm still down 3.5%, which is what I was down yesterday for the year, while the market's only down 0.4%, and you can see the S&P 500 right here, down 0.43%. I'm down 3.5%. Not shocking, though, considering this has been our year so far. So even if I'm using my leveraged ETFs to trade the 50-day moving average, I got a breakdown here, breakout, false signal, breakout, false signal, and now another. Who knows this is a false signal? The only good news is that we have a turn higher in our MACD and TSV that's actually confirming this move. Dow Jones Industrial Average, which was under a sell signal following today's move, is obviously back under a neutral signal, which is where all of our indexes are going to remain until we break out, until we break out above like this trend line right here. So until we break out above that, there's no way we would even switch into a buy signal, and that alone isn't going to do it. We would then need to break out above this high right here too. I can never draw these on this system. But the bottom line is that it's going to take a little bit more work before we go into a buy mode. The Russell 2000 is the last index I want to look at. It's the best one so far as its 50 200-day moving average is coiled. MACD has now turned up above its average, which it wasn't yet quite doing yesterday. I mean, it got above it, but it wasn't like, okay, now we're going to move higher. And TSV is confirmed. Looking at the stochastics, you can see the stochastics have turned higher on the Russell 2000, on the S&P 500, on the NASDAQ. So overall, we have all of our internal oscillators confirming the most recent move, so we have to rejoin the bull side. That being said, a lot of my stops were hit on my hedges, or half of them were today. So if you haven't taken any of the hedges off yet, SDOW half needs to come off, SQQQ half needs to come off, SPXS half needs to come off, minimum there. And then on SOXS, I'm taking 25% off, and it got hit intraday for me. But there will be more coming off if I have some very tight stops now, and if we're even down a little bit on this one in the next day or two, I'll be completely out of SOXS here in a bit. I have some partial sells I don't want to go over. I just want to immediately go to the new longs. FRGI is a CanSlim quality long. That was a great IPO. It's shown no stop. It's now breaking out of basically a flat base formation on a daily, and on a weekly, I guess we could just call it basically an ascending base pattern overall if you want to. I mean, I'm going to consider it a flat base. I don't even care what you call it. The bottom line is bounce off 50-day moving average, pocket pivot signal on extremely strong volume. It's a little extended compared to where it is, like breaking out of. Like, so if we're looking at the 60-30 level as the highs, 6170 is kind of a bit. So if you want to split it up between a market order maybe at 60, or a limit order maybe at 6170, and then maybe I would do another limit order at 6110. So that's probably what I'm going to do. 6170, 6110 limit orders FRGI. If it gets hit, great. If it doesn't, whatever. Then we'll set the sell stops after about a half a trading session tomorrow on this one. Also, also FRGI is in my pre-perfect speculator scan. If it breaks out to new highs and hits new highs from this pattern, it will return to my perfect speculator scan. So it's right on the cusp. So this is a high quality stock. It also was in my price volume BOP surge scan. So it was in 3 of the 4 scans I wanted to see it in. I'd like to see it in the main perfect speculator scan, but to become a perfect speculator stock, you got to first do the pre. SHPG is also a pre-perfect speculator scan quality stock, can slim stock, and was also in my price volume BOP surge scan. So SHPG is another new long. Once again, with FRGI, I don't think we risk too much, so I'm going to take it. But I didn't mention is that these are only 2% long signals. They're not 2.5%, they're not 3%, they're not 4%, they're not 5%, and they sure as the hell aren't 10 or 20% with this volatile tape. But SHPG showed up in every one, and then CHRW, recent earnings winner, exploded higher on huge volume with BOP going to max green. It's very rare that I get to see a price volume BOP explosion. It's even rare that I get a price volume BOP explosion with already a ton of green BOP, which is something I was used to a lot between 1996 and 2008. Where are you guys? I guess they're never coming back. But it's good to see the price, volume, and BOP all blast off following earnings. So CHRW is a new long. It is not a perfect speculator or pre-perfect speculator scan stock, but it was also confirmed in my price volume BOP scan stock. So SHPG, CHRW, and FRGI are 2%ers. We'll see what happens with these, and if they work out, then I'll add to my next round of positions. But I'm going to need to see some good signals. And like I said, we've got to first break out above this one downtrend. Cancel D. So we first got to break out above this downtrend line here. Then we need to break out to start to trigger a soft buy signal. And then we have to break out to new highs before we do get back to a full-on buy signal. And that goes with the S&P 500 too. Similar. Damn it, I keep pressing the wrong letter. D is for trend lines. So there, we need to break out of that first, then we're on good footing, and then we need to break out above here to go into a real hard buy signal.